try that one more time. Bolavinaka. Alright. This will be a 15 to 18 minutes presentation, so don't leave us until we tell you to do so. Let's get familiarized with Fiji. Fiji is located about 3,200 miles south-southwest of Hawaii, a 6 to 7 hour plane ride from Honolulu, Hawaii all the way down to Fiji. It is made up of over 333 islands. It is the largest group of islands in Polynesia with a population of 1 million people, 55% natives. 1874, after many years of tribal warfare and rivalries between chiefs and tribes within the Fiji group of islands, we laid down our weapons and we ceded our islands to Queen Victoria of Great Britain and her descendants. October 10, 1970, we gained our independence. The legacy left by the British, English is to be used today as the official language. Not the primary language, but official language. Fijian language, 30 languages and more than 50 dialects spread across the 333 islands. And this might interest you to know the international date line runs through Taveuni, third largest island in Fiji. International date line, timeline that separates yesterday from today. So it's Monday on this side of Fiji. It is Tuesday on this side of Fiji. Interesting place to go visit if you're celebrating birthdays and anniversaries. Good place to go redeem yourself, celebrate all over again in Fiji. Sit back and enjoy this presentation. Completely uninhabited. Any evidence of humans existed only on the fringes of the western Pacific Islands, in places like Papua New Guinea, Solomons, Tasmania, islands that are referred to today as the Melanesian group of islands. Scientific evidence supports their oral tradition, stating that they've been in these islands for more than 20,000 years. They were a hunter-gatherer culture, lived in small villages and small family units, isolated from the rest of the population. Around 2500 BC, these islanders were suddenly been replaced by a new branch of humanity. These newcomers intrepidly stormed through the region, colonizing islands as they pushed east towards the rising sun. They were fierce warriors and great seafarers, built and sailed on huge double-hull canoes that carried 200 to 300 people. They brought with them a new culture, a new language that was rooted in the Austronesian language that evolved out of Southeast Asia and spoken today in the Eastern Pacific Islands. They were a polytheistic society, practiced animism and built sacred temples of worship, like this one. The high priest has just offered prayers on behalf of the people, asking the gods to bless this people as they set foot on this newfound land. Notice our temples are elevated, built tall and high. The belief was, the taller the structure, the closer the communication with ancestral gods. The gods have granted blessings upon these new people. Now, these newcomers introduced a social hierarchy system were chiefly titles we inherited by bloodline, and our chiefs were believed to be descendants of ancestral gods. Standing before you is a model of a chief, wearing the liku voi voi skirt made from the dried pandanus leaves. Around his arms he wears the vesa mangi mangi, braided from the fibers of the coconut husk. Mother pearl shell around his neck, holds a war club in his hands, symbols of power and authority in the islands of Fiji. He calls upon his people to dance to Tura, depicting their arrival to this newfound land. Now, as these newcomers settle the coastal areas of the larger islands of Fiji, they continue to live and practice traditions they brought with them. Things like the making of bark cloth from the paper mulberry plant, the weaving of baskets and mats from the dried pandanus leaves. Today, all throughout Polynesia, the art of weaving baskets and mats and the making of bark cloth are still being practiced. But there's one unique tradition that is no longer practiced today in Polynesia, except for the islands of Fiji, and that is the art of making pottery. These clay potteries were known as lapita pottery. These lapita potteries are low-fired earthenware pottery tempered with shell or sand. It is typically decorated with motifs that can be found today in Polynesian art, such as tattoos and bark cloth. Tambua or sperm whale stood were presented for atonement or esteem and were used to negotiate with rival chiefs. It is also used in a traditional ceremony called Dumudi. This is where the family of a male presents a whale stood or a tambua, asking a father for his daughter's hand in marriage. Now what you're about to witness, ladies and gentlemen, is a reenactment and a shorter version, a condensed version of a Dumudi ceremony. This is where the rival chief from the rival district will be presenting a tambua asking our chief for his daughter's hand in marriage. These marriage proposals were done to forge alliances between rivalries between chiefs and tribes. It begins with the beating of the wooden drum called the ladi, calling for people to assemble and await the arrival of the visitors. The visiting party arriving at the chiefly compound will call out. This is the highest form of respect the chiefs accord each other, acknowledging rank and titles. These ceremonies observe strict protocols. Only honorific language of chiefs are used in ceremonies such as this. The spokesperson or the talking chief of the rival district, rival chief, opens his presentation, making connections through genealogy and blood ties with the host chief before presenting the marriage proposal. Before accepting the marriage proposal, the host chief will call upon his daughter, Andi Waka. He will then inform Andi Waka Wawaloa the purpose of the visitor's visit, which is the marriage proposal. The daughter, understanding the importance of the forging of this new alliance with the rival chief, has accepted the marriage proposal. She has no choice. The father is accepting, or officially accepting, the marriage proposal. This will take months and months of preparation. There's a lot of feasting, a lot of exchange of cultural gifts, rituals before the actual wedding day. Standing before you, ladies and gentlemen, is the daughter of the high chief of our village, dressed in the ceremonial attire of a daughter of a high chief, with the bark cloth apron around her waist. Behind her is a trail that signifies her rank. The longer the trail, the higher the rank in society. Wearing the mbuli, or the white cowrie shawl, around her neck, and the markings on her face, symbolizing nobility. Standing beside her is the son of the rival chief from the rival district, signifying his rank, with the mother pearl shell around his neck. Ladies and gentlemen, let's wish them all the best as they prepare themselves to get married in a couple of months' time. Fijian oral tradition and history talks a lot about rivalries between chiefs and tribes. When Europeans arrive, the short train club is highly effective when the opponent is trying to escape. But the most commonly used weapon is the manda. This is used for close combat fighting and can do a lot of damage to your opponent. Warriors dance to Savandu, depicting some of these events in history. Where the presentation of a sperm whale's tooth was made, asking a father for his daughter's hand in marriage. Nowadays it is done only as a formality. What would precede that would be months and months of dating, and this time no pressure. She said yes from the bottom of her heart. Employee at the culture center, he just returned from officer training. He serves in the United States Army. And this is our chief, Kui. He's studying marine biology.
As the sun rises from the east and sets in the west, we are constantly reminded of how our ancestors braved through the ocean and settled in Fiji 2,500 years ago. This is our story, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you have all enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed presenting it to you. Unakawakaleu, someone.
You may leave now.